All right, what's going on, everybody? This is G Funky. Welcome to G Funky Boxing Talk. Yeah, man. So I'm here to talk about this. I made a video yesterday. Or was it Tuesday? I can't remember. You get old like me, you get busy like me, you just can't remember everything. But made a video talking about Floyd Mayweather training Tank Davis, and I got a response from somebody made a response video to me. So I'm just waiting for him to come on. If he's let me tell him that I'm live. See if he's here, and we'll get him to come on so we can talk about it. See somebody. Let me check if he's here. I see Chicano Prophet. I see Bruce Goes. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me, man. So I'm just waiting on somebody to come on. I only got about 40 minutes tops, man, before I have to get back to homeschooling, man. It's first day of second grade for my daughter. So, you know, gotta do the parent thing, and then I'll be free a little bit later. But yeah, I guess he you know, I don't want to say had a problem, but he just disagreed with some of the things that I had said about Mayweather uh training and things like that. So just waiting to see if he's gonna show up, and then we could talk about it, man. But you know, there were some things he said in his video that I would like to address, and you know, I hope that he shows up. No, Paul is here. What's going on, man? Stay cool out there, bro. It's hot, man. We're gonna get, man, one of these days supposed to be like 111 or 112, something like that, man. This is crazy out here, man. But yeah, if he doesn't show up, then I'll probably just cut the live and get rid of this video. But I hope he shows up so we can talk about it. And it's this is not gonna be one of those things where you know uh it's a debate or anything like that. We're just gonna talk about the differences that we have on the difference of opinion that we have, and there's no hate, no nothing for me. I don't take things personal. It's just an opinion. You know, and in my opinion, you know, I don't think we should just throw all our eggs in the Floyd Mayweather training basket. He's unproven, you know? And until I see him work with another fighter and get him prepared, you know, and show a good history of that you know, with fighters, then, hey, I'll give him his due. But until then, like I said, it's unproven at this point. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Yes, I did, Chicano. We've been messaging back and forth, and he actually just replied to me. Let me see, about 5 minutes ago, and I told him the time I was going live, and just waiting, man. If he's here, I'll drop the link. I see some people coming in, but if he comes in, I'll drop the link, and we could talk for a little bit. Busy day for me though, man. This is crazy, man. Anybody else got kids going to school today, or not physically going, but you know what I'm saying, on the distant learning thing? It's a trip, man, and you know, especially when you have a child like mine. You got to really be engaged in what's going on and stuff like that. So I'm not going to shortchange her. There was a little bit of a break in between, so I figured I would just go live and see if the brother shows up. You know what I'm saying? So just waiting. I got my boy Black and Brown in the house. What's going on, man? Hey, did the Kings close out that game, bro? I know we was kicking the Lakers' ass, and I had to go take care of some things, but hopefully we came through and won that. You know what I'm saying? That's right. We here, baby. Even though the game was doesn't really count. All right, he's here. Cool. So Let me go ahead and drop this link for you, and then you can come right on. 1 second. There's the link, man. Just want to hop on. We could talk about it a little bit. Like I said, only got about, yeah, we whooped them, huh? Hell yeah. I'll take a win against the Lakers anytime, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with that. Man, Parker looked nice today, man. I hope the Kings try to do their best to resign him, man. But yeah, man, the link is there, bro. Just go ahead and click on it, and I'll let you in. We got about right now till about 2:45, and then we can go. So I got Bruce Goes here also. So let me get these guys on.
Stop lying to the fans, you fucking fraud.
Whoa, whoa,
You a
whoa! What do we got
fraud.
here?
A con man and a fucking bin man. You a fraud, man. Stop lying to the fans.
All right. Well, what's going on, man? How you doing? Can you hear me? Are you on mute?
I
Unmute
didn't want
yourself.
to.
Okay, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me? Can you hear me in the feedback, or we're good?
Yep, we
Cool,
good,
man.
man.
Cool.
All right. So, real quickly here, man. I got about 30 minutes tops here, man. Then I got to get back to virtual learning. Oh man, crazy stuff. So, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the discussion, man.
Cool. Well, it's nice to be on your program, G Funky. Been seeing you for a while. Subscribe to your channel and everything. I'm what you need. Some people, a lot of people on here might know me. And basically, we're going to discuss what you were talking about with Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz. It was an exciting pay-per-view fight that's coming up. And well, you could reiterate what you have to say, and I'll reiterate my position. You probably read what I said or watched my video.
Yeah, I checked it out last night, man. So, my position is that Floyd, great fighter, no doubt about it, all time great. Uh, but is, in my opinion, he's unproven as a trainer. So until I see, him work with some guys and do some good things with these guys, then I'm gonna leave it at that. That it's unproven, and that I'm not ready to say that he's gonna be a great trainer or anything like that. Um, Now, you said in your video that he's not the full-time trainer, right? Somebody else. He's just kind of, I guess, helping out with Tank. Is that what it is?
Yeah, basically, Tank is just doing his real trainer is Calvin Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Ford's been the guy that brought him up from since he was a little pup. Actually, got him into boxing, etc. So Calvin Ford has a number of guys. You know about Tank. You may know about Truck. Um, those are the two more notable ones. There are two other fighters from Calvin Forbes stable who are also signed to Floyd Mayweather Promotions. But there are other fighters that Calvin Ford is actually, trained or brought up and taught boxing. So Tank is one of them, but his major trainer is Calvin Ford. That's actually when they actually go into camp, because this is not camp. This is pre-camp where Tank gets his weight under control and so on, and then they go into camp to actually train for Leo Santa Cruz, which the fight is going to be at 130. It's not going to be at 135. It's going to be at 130. But there are two belts on the line, kind of like Donnie Lalonde versus Sugar Ray Leonard, where there are two belts on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of thing. He has a 135, I think regular WBA belt, which is nothing really. And I think Leo has the WBA 130 belt, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's to me. I think it's going to be tough for Tank to make 130. He's already had some trouble making 135. Do you think it would be best for him to just try to just stay 135 instead of trying to get down to 130? I mean, what do you think?
Well, honestly, I think he can make 130. I think his coach actually said that. Calvin Ford said he would make 130. Leonard Ellaby said he would make 130. I don't think it's making 130 that's the issue. I think the bigger issue at hand will be, can he deal with the pace that Leo will bring to him, with his conditioning hold up when he has to deal with a guy who you can't just get out of there with the typical stuff that he was doing. Leo is going to be his toughest opposition to date. So, and Leo is got so much experience. He's such a veteran of the sport. You know, he's faced guys like Cal Frampton. He's faced Abner Morris, who was supposed to face Tank at 135. So he's got some experience under his belt. I think there's 2 other world champions he faced, or former world champions. So he's got a lot of experience. You know, he's not one-dimensional, as people are saying. So I give you all the credit for what he was saying about Leo. I agree with everything that you say about Leo, but I do believe that when you're thinking of, like you generalized it and said that great fighters generally don't make great trainers. That's not always the rule, but I get what you're saying. But I was saying that the thing that you may have forgot in my video was that his dad and his uncles were also trainers. And I think Roger's a great trainer. We consider him that. And I think Floyd Sr. is a great trainer. But Floyd Sr. is the one that actually raised him from a pup, whereas Roger kind of. So he had all of these great trainers around him. And I think in an environment like that, I think he can only be a great trainer. I think that's not, if he stays with it, and which it seems as though he's very serious about, because I see him having like these circuits and these camps almost with these young fighters. Some of them are not even. Some of these young fighters are not ever going to be professional or amateur, but he just got them in this group training together, and it's beautiful what I see him doing. And I see he seems to be very serious about it. So I'm really happy about that, you know? So that's where I think that's the difference between Floyd and, say, some other great fighter who didn't really have a family, you know, of fighters who also train fighters. And I think that's the difference between him and, say, a fighter who people say they do things on intuition alone. I don't think he does things on intuition alone. I think he's very intentional about what he does in the ring, and he understands, he has that understanding of what he's doing in the ring to set up a fighter for later on and that kind of thing. So I think he really, like I was watching even when he was training Devin Haney, and even when he's skipping rope, how he's talking, he's actually detailing every single significant thing about what he's doing while he's skipping. And I you know, he's breaking it down to the fighter. So I realized this guy is not just doing things by chance. He knows exactly what he's doing in there. And so I think those gems he'll give to Tank, he's not the major trainer of Tank, but the gems he's giving to Tank and the gems he's giving to Devin Haney and Devin Haney's promoted fighters, and Rolly Romero, who's a Cuban boxer background. His father's Cuban boxer background. I think those things. I think those things are huge, and I think obviously he's not going to be a great trainer overnight, but I think he's already making steps in a certain direction. It's not just the pad work, it's not just the regiments, but how he's kind of communicating to fighters certain things. I think I already see some makings of him, you know, being a great trainer. I'm not saying he is right now, but I do think that the advice and counsel he's given to certain fighters in certain fights really benefited them more or less. It's only the guys who didn't really listen to him, didn't really take his word. Usually those guys kind of fall up by the wayside. I'm glad that Tank's there with him in Las Vegas. That's where they're going to have their camp. Coach Calvin's already there in Las Vegas. So that's great. The thing I think Tank has going against him somewhat, and he really has to be on his A game, is his conditioning. Leo Santa Cruz always comes in.
Yep.
Like, this is going to be great. You know, a lot of people sleep on this fight. This is going to be a great fight. This is going to be I don't know any fight Leo Santa Cruz has been in that's not been exciting or great. So I think this is going to be a great pay-per-view. I think that Leo is going to come. Leo wanted this fight, by the way. So, and Leo has beaten Adrian Broner, right? He has beaten Adrian Broner in the amateurs. So this guy has seen that style before. Well, not so much the style, but somewhat like of the style, and he knows how to deal with something like that. So I think that Leo's going to bring to the table a lot of things, a lot of tools. It's up to Tank to also bring to the table a well-conditioned body, a body that's ready to run for full 12 rounds, go 12 rounds if necessary, and then it's up to Tank to take what Leo's best is, neutralize that, and then make Leo come up with something else. But Leo,
Hey, hold on real quick. I'm sorry. I keep getting these freaking weirdos, man, coming in here trying to come on the show. Sorry, man. I've just kicked out like 3 different people that came in. Let me just go ahead and erase this link that I put out there. Sorry about that, man. Go ahead, finish your point. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, I was saying that I have the same kind of problem on my channel with trolls coming in, and they're just trolling because they see a link.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Next
but
time,
I agree with you 100%.
Next time, just give me your email. It's easier that way. But go ahead.
All right, cool. I'll give you it after the show. Yeah, but I agree with you 100% that this is not an easy fight for Tank. This is not an easy fight for Leo, but I think Leo wants this kind of fight. He really wants this kind of fight. I think we'll see, because I'm not predicting who will actually win the fight per se. I just want to see it. And I think that a lot of people are sleeping on it. They're thinking that Tank is just going to go in there and blow out Leo. I just don't see that happen.
Yeah.
I don't see that happen. But some people are also thinking that Tank's just going to go in there, he's going to blow his load, and then he's going to get tired, and Leo's just going to overpower him. But the way how Tank is training right now, how he's applying himself, I don't think so either. But we'll see. It's still too early for me to say. But the way how they're making Tank lose weight the right way, and Leonard Ellaby's all on top of that, and everybody, is really preparing him for this. He has to be up on his A game. I mean, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something, So
it's gonna be a great fight for sure, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see it. Actually, I'm very excited about this fight. I'm very excited about 2 other fights this year that are definitely going to happen. Lopez versus Lomachenko and Spence versus Garcia. They're extremely intriguing for similar reasons. Can Lopez actually do what he did before? Will the veteran, the experienced fighter Lomachenko come through again? And with Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence, will Errol Spence have any damage from his accident?
That's a big question.
Yeah, that's the question, right? How will that play a role in there? Danny hits like a mule. So that's the question. It's definitely going to be tested.
Right. Well, let's kind of stick to the topic here. I mean, we could do another show if you would like, and talk about that, because those are good fights, man. Good fights. But yeah, my thing is just this with Mayweather is just he's just, to me, he's still unproven, and I think in this fight here, because this is the most time I've ever seen him spend with Tank, as far as like working on things in the gym and stuff like that. So this will be the measuring stick, I guess, or the proof in the pudding once the fight happens. But I think that with Tank, in his history, man, he's been very inconsistent. He's missed weight a few times. He's had some trouble outside of the ring. For me, it's been real disappointing. And I really like Tank. I've said this here on my channel and other channels, where when he was fighting on the McGregor Mayweather undercard, I made sure I made it a point to tell everybody that was at my house that wanted to see this fight. I said, man, make sure you guys uh, watch this kid because I think he has a real bright future. He could be, you never know, the face of boxing in a few years. Like I think he's that good, and he just he didn't live up to the expectations in that fight. And then there was a few fights after where he just didn't look good to me, and I'm like, man, like what's going on with this guy? So I mean, Mayweather in his corner. I mean, yeah, there are some things I think he could, he could benefit from that. But like I said, I'm not willing to put all my eggs in the basket, on Floyd as a trainer just yet. But just to remind you, I didn't forget that his father and his uncles were trainers. Those guys were all great trainers for sure. But we just haven't seen it come from Floyd yet. So that's really all I'm saying is I just need to see it. Can somebody remove this guy, this damn troll in the No Paul Chicano? If you guys are still there, man, get rid of this some weirdo man on here. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, Tank.
Yeah, I'm not in disagreement with you in terms of being proven. I will say this though, when he went across to England to face the British kid, a Smith, I think it was. I think it was a Smith. I think Floyd was the major trainer there. I think Coach Calvin didn't go across, so Floyd was the one actually coaching through that when he starts that kid. But and Floyd has been behind the scenes working with different fighters all the time. People don't know this, but he has been working behind the scenes with different fighters. And well, of late, since his passing of Uncle Roger Mayweather, he's just like, he always expressed that he wanted to be a trainer, but he's like really taking it to the next level. Like it's not just Tank, it's Devin Haney, it's everybody. He's training anybody that comes across his way. He's willing to shed some gems to them. So it's kind of, even now he's training people. He's running. You see, he's training anybody. Like I've seen him training ladies, everybody. And I think that it must have been something to do with his uncle's passing that I think had a huge impact on him. And he's just, I mean, I've never seen him like this. He's just training like crazy. So
Yeah,
I know he's serious about it,
That's very true. Yeah, because it seemed like as soon as Uncle Roger passed, we started to see him in the gym doing more things like that. What's funny is I could kind of relate to that in a way, and not from boxing, but I'm a musician also. So my uncle is the one that kind of helped me get into music. And when he passed away, that was a big blow to me. So I can kind of understand what he's going through when you have somebody that has that much of an impact on your life. And and I think this, man, if he ever does decide to do something like this full time, that's going to be big for the sport because he's going to be there. He's going to be in the fights and people know him. And that's always a good thing. It's just a matter of if he's willing to put the time aside to do that, and it's we'll see how he does here with Tank. I'm very excited for this fight, and I agree with what you said, man. People are sleeping on this thing, man. They're sleeping on it. People complaining that it's on pay-per-view. Look, man, the bottom line is this: nobody said you had to pay pay-per-view. Okay, we all know there's ways you can watch the damn fight without paying for it. Okay, so let's just stop the nonsense. Okay, watch the fight. That's all you got to do. Who cares I don't care if you pay for it or not. Just watch it, and it's gonna be a good fight, man. Because I think Leo's gonna test Tank in some ways that other fighters haven't been able to see.
Absolutely. I think Leo's going to push the pace, and I think he's going to box Tank probably early, box him. Tank can box too, but he's going to box Tank early. Leo has a good chin. I don't think, has anybody ever dropped Leo? Nobody's ever dropped Leo, right?
I don't think so, no.
There you go. So he has a hell of a chin. He's well conditioned. You're not going to just stop Leo like that. So I know this is going to be, and he can box. This guy can box. He can do it all. So it's going to be a great. I'm telling you, man. I don't know why people are sleeping on this guy.
Exactly.
It's going to be a great barn burner. It's going to be a great fight, man. It's going to be a great fight. I can guarantee that Tank's going to have to be in the shape of his life, but it's going to be a great fight, and we'll see who comes out the victor. See who comes out the victor.
Yeah, you're right, man. Tank has to come in, man. He can't come in like he did against Gamboa or
Oh no, hell no.
Fonseca. Like that's not
No,
gonna cut it, man.
no.
But he's already saying things like Leo's gonna bring out the best in me. I think he
Yeah,
tweeted that out a few weeks ago, and he's absolutely
yeah,
right. This guy has to, you know. So because we know Leo's always prepared to go 12, and not just a
yeah.
regular 12. He can go a hard 12 and keep a good pace going. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. That's the thing that I've been hearing a lot too is people thinking that Tank's power, he's just gonna blow Leo out. But I didn't think about
That's a
that, man.
vet. That's
He's
a
never been there.
veteran. He,
Yeah,
Leo knows how to get away from the big shots. Leo's not as simple as Leo looks. Trust me, he's not as simple as he looks. It's very deceiving. He knows how to get away from the big shots, right?
yeah.
Remember when Carl Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz? Carl Frampton was throwing some real crisp, sharp right hands, and Leo was getting away from him, right? He
Hmm.
gets tagged with something else. He gets tagged, but he doesn't get tagged with the big ones. And the idea is not to get hit with the big ones, right? So that's where we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's really up. We're gonna see what's really up. Tank is the more skilled fighter. The question is, he's never been 100% in condition all the time. He
Yeah,
goes up and down in weight. This is the problem we have. So if he can stay sort of on weight from here on in, he'll do tremendously well. But he doesn't do that. He goes way up to 160 something, and then he comes all the way
ooh,
back down to 130 something. He's big. Tank's big.
yeah. And
He's a huge guy.
my thing is this: I think that if weight is a problem for him in this fight, um, it's time for him to just go ahead and move on up. And I know he's about 5'5", I think, in height. But
About 6'5". Yeah,
yeah, we've seen
5'4".
guys like Pernell Whitaker, who's that height, who's went up to 147. So and fought well there. So there's
Oh,
he can
he's
move
not
up.
ready for 147 though. He's not
No, no,
ready for
not yet. No,
147.
I'm just saying, like in the future, he could possibly
Okay.
move up that high. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with what you said about Leo. A lot of people don't give him credit for his defense, man.
Yeah,
He's
he's got to do the
he's good with rolling with shots, and he
fucking
also likes
point.
to pick shots off with his gloves, which is
Yes.
something that he's pretty good at, man. I think a lot of people sometimes they might think maybe he's getting hit with those shots, but he's really, like I said, he's really rolling with them, or he's catching them with the gloves on the inside and things like that. So
Mhm.
it's not going to be an easy thing. I mean, I do expect Tank to catch him clean with shots, no doubt about it, because he's got the hand speed advantage, no doubt.
Mhm.
But again, if he's not able to hurt Leo, Leo's going to keep that pressure, man, and it's up to Tank to see if he can handle that pressure, man. And if Floyd,
The
can,
thing about it, I would say, is how the game plan. It's going to come down to the Calvin Ford's game plan versus the game plan of Leo Santa Cruz, his camp,
mhm.
his training. So I think game plans make a big difference. That's why I can't really say much about the fight until I see what if I'm watching the fight and I understand the game plan that's going on with both fighters. I can tell you what really will happen, but it's
Yeah.
going to come down to the proper game plan for
What do you
whoever
think? What
was
do you
fighting.
think about this predetermined notion on Leo that because he ducked guys like Rigo and Gary Russell, that just automatically makes him take him L here against Tank?
But he faced Carl Frampton. He
Hmm.
faced Abner Mares.
And
These guys are not jokes,
and he's fighting
right?
Tank.
And Tank has fought, but Tank hasn't fought anybody like that. His biggest win is Gamboa, older Gamboa. Yeah, he's veteran and everything, and he got injured in the fight. If it was a healthy Gamboa, we don't know what would have happened, right?
Hmm.
It would have been a harder fight. Let's put it that way. And
Definitely.
he also faced Pedraza, right? That's his two big wins. Okay, Pedraza was in his prime. Pedraza can do all kinds of things. We've seen Pedraza has skill, but nonetheless, Abner Mares is like a what? 3-divisional world champion. Carl Frampton's a 2-divisional world champion. You will get it. The status of these guys is much higher. Carl Frampton's like a right-handed orthodox sort of breakdown version of Guillermo Rigondeaux, right? He's kind of like
Mhm.
a cheap version of Guillermo Rigondeaux. So you can see the quality of fighter that Leo Santa Cruz has handled versus what Tank has handled. And Tank's going to learn so much from this fight. He's going to get a lot of experience from Leo. Leo's probably seen something like Tank, sort of, not really, but he's seen it in Carl Frampton. You get what I'm saying? Carl Frampton
Yes.
is not a southpaw, but he's a skilled, boxer, right?
Yeah.
Tank's a boxer puncher, skilled, all right, probably a little better than Carl Frampton, probably much better than Carl Frampton, because Tank hardly gets hit, right? Really, if you think about it, his defense is pretty good. So
Mhm.
that's the kind of fighter that Leo's going to be facing. But it's not like Leo didn't face that before. He's been through that kind of thing. He's got that experience. Tank really, the closest he's gotten to that is Yuriorkis Gamboa, right? Gamboa is probably his best win to date because Pedraza didn't really have the experience. Gamboa had the experience. When you fight that's what I try to explain to people. Canelo fighting veterans. They say, oh, he's fighting these old guys. No, he gained a lot of experience. He's way ahead of these young crop right now because he's got so much experience fighting these top tier guys. And the same thing. So with Tank, with Gamboa, people sleep on Gamboa. I hope that Gamboa gets that fight with Devin Haney, so people could see that Gamboa is still a force to be reckoned with, and he's got a lot of IQ. He's got a lot of IQ up
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh
That's what
yeah.
makes him. Yeah, some people sleep
Gamboa
on
is,
Gamboa as well
yeah,
because they haven't
Gamboa.
seen him in a.
Yeah, we didn't get to really see a lot of his prime, by the time he got to the U.S. But I mean, we saw the hand speed, the like you said, the boxing IQ. He's a
Oh yeah,
gold medalist, two-time gold medalist, I believe. So I mean, this guy can box, man, and he's just he's at the latter end of his career, and like you said, who knows what happens with Tank if he doesn't get that injury? It was a interesting fight
it
for a
was an
little bit.
interesting fight. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, the Devin Haney. I mean, geez, if he can get in there with a Devin Haney, that would be a nice step up for a Devin Haney. And I've been waiting for him to
right.
get in there with somebody that we could say, yeah, now we could see, because again, he passes the eye test, no doubt about it, Devin Haney. But we haven't
He's
seen
not
it
getting
in.
competition.
Yeah,
He's just
we
not
haven't.
getting competition, man. Guys just don't want to face him, or it's just all kinds of weird things going on. So he's kind of like, I think Devin Haney has a situation like Demetrius Andrade right now, where they kind of starve him out. So we'll see what happens with Devin, though.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
see it, man. I want to see him in there with somebody. Because that's the ultimate test is all this stuff. I mean, you and I can sit here and we can say, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, but it all plays out in the ring, you know.
yeah,
And once
for
these
sure.
guys get in the ring, then it's like, okay, now we know. You know what I'm saying? These guys look good hitting the bag, hitting the mitts, and look good against these guys that they've been throwing at them. But now we're gonna see. And same thing goes for a lot of the other young guys in this division. Ryan Garcia, we hear he's close to a deal with Luke Campbell. That is a great step up for him. We've
Great
seen Luke
fight.
Campbell,
Great fight.
yeah, another
Great fight.
Olympian, gold medalist. Did well against the Lomachenko, who's the main guy in the
Yeah,
division, and this is
yeah,
a
did very
great
well.
step up. Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
a great fight, man. I just wish people would just stop hating on it and
You know
give
what?
it.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm guilty of this. I think we as fight fans look to like just bash anything we get our hands on. Like we're not celebrating how interesting these fights are. And then if we could just get any fight, a matchup with two big names, we got Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson this year that might come on. We got some people are lashing out on that. They're like, "Oh, two old guys. We don't want to see it." I'm like, "What? Are you
I'm
kidding
not with
me?"
it. I
See,
just
there
think
you go.
somebody.
I'm
I just think
shocked.
somebody's gonna get hurt, man. That's all I'm thinking.
No, they're professionals, man. And it's an exhibition anyway. And even if somebody gets knocked out, they're not going to allow the person. I'm pretty sure they won't even let the person hit the ground because they know. So it's whoever they put as a referee, there's no judges, nothing. Whoever they put as a referee, that person's going to be watching the two guys because they know they're seniors, right? So they're
He's
going
got
to
to be
take every
watching
single
close,
person.
man, because Roy, man,
Yeah,
his
for sure.
chin is so bad now. He's been getting knocked out,
Roy?
and when he gets knocked out, it's brutal. It's brutally, and then, man, if Tyson lands one, man, ooh, it could get ugly for him.
Yeah, because he's not really a heavyweight, right? Roy's not a
Yeah,
heavyweight. But I was
yeah.
watching him. with the world class trainer. And I gotta say, he's looking pretty good for bad knees. He's looking pretty good with his bad knees. He's looking pretty good. So I want to see, because I know Roy, you know, that's a whole other story for another day. That's probably another. I wish you do a piece on Roy Jones Jr. Truly, 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 we need to do something. Somebody need to do something on him because he's underrated in lots of ways. But anyway, what I'm saying is that's what we can look forward to this year. It's like Roy Jones Jr. There's the Mike Tyson. We got the Lomachenko versus Lopez. We got the Spence versus Garcia. We got Spence versus Garcia this year, right? I hope so. And then we have what else is cemented? There's something else, but I can't remember what it is. But
we got the Charlo brothers stepping up, you know, and getting their shot on pay-per-view. You know, this, hey man, we got a lot to look forward to here, man. And you know, the thing is this too, is the ratings have been well. I mean, did you see the ratings for Delorme versus James? I mean, that was 1.2 million it peaked, and
really?
That's keeping up with the NBA, you know, and marquee matchups like Milwaukee versus Boston and some of the Lakers games. So I mean, hey man, boxing is stepping it up, and you know what? This is their opportunity, man, because with sports being all messed up, this is their opportunity to rise to the occasion, man.
That's what I'm saying. You know, that's what I'm saying. And well, I'm just hoping that the Zone will get something going. ESPN will get something going. Showtime and Fox will get something going. Because I'm not partial to any one of them. I will tell you what their strengths and weaknesses are. But I just want boxing on a whole to do very well. So that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, that's basically it for me. But that's all I wanted. That was my contribution to you. I wasn't really trying to necessarily just disagree for disagreement's sake. I was just talking about, because I think a lot of people don't think about that with certain fighters. And I like to try to think about everything in boxing while I'm listening to different people talk about boxing. And I do a little boxing myself, but nothing still serious. But I really want to do something serious with it. But nothing really serious. So yeah, man. No, thank you for having me on here.
Oh man, it's no problem, man. And one thing about my channel, the way I run it is this, you know, anybody's welcome, whether you agree, whether you disagree with me. I would love to anybody. I would love to have you come on and talk. And but I do believe in order. That's my only rule. You know, I'll let you burn as long as you let me burn uninterrupted. You know, everybody will get a chance to speak, and that's the way I run it. But yeah, you know, we'll see, man. How this works out for Tank, if Mayweather will be the difference. You know, I mean, I still personally think that the things that Tank needs help with is something that he's just going to have to look in the mirror himself, you know, and take care of. I mean, not that advice won't help. That is good to have somebody, you know, if Floyd's telling him the right things, like, hey man, look, get it together, man, because Leo's no joke. You know, get it together, make sure you make weight and things like that. I mean, that can help, but at the end of the day, it's Tank that's got to do it. You know, same thing with my one of my guys that I was keeping a close eye on, Andy Ruiz in the heavyweight division. The guy let me down because he just couldn't stay disciplined outside of the ring, you know. But Tank, you know, very skilled guy. And you know, I'm just, man, I can't wait to see this fight, man. This is going to be beautiful. I can't wait for it, man. Great. Yes, going to be a good one, man. So, hey, man, you know, anytime, man, you want to come on and or whatever, you know, I sent you my email. So, you know, let me know, man. And we could go at it.
Anytime you do it, anything that has to do with Roy Jones Jr., anything that has to do with Pernell Whitaker, at this point in time, I think it's so sad that Pernell had to die for people to really start to really appreciate him.
Yeah.
And even I don't really like that people. Roy's still alive with us. And, you know, yeah, okay, after the heavyweight championship of the world and after, you know, his first fight with Antonio Tarver, things kind of went downhill. But you can't erase all that stuff before that. You know what I'm saying? You can't erase that.
That's very true, man.
That's the thing that I'm trying to say, and I think his fight with Mike Tyson is going to show people something. I'm not gonna say much because I'm not gonna pick any sides because I like Tyson, I like Roy, but I just think that the exhibition is going to show something that about Roy that a lot of people sleep on him about. You know, that's all I'm going to say about that. I believe he was a technician, a great technician that went beyond just the technical side of things to studying nature and taking nature and bringing it back into the ring. And then he put show business with it. So he was like, he's a pioneer of a lot of things. A lot of people don't give Roy a lot of credit for a lot of things. Even the success of Mayweather, Mayweather's success is because of Roy in so many different ways. So, I mean, I really have a special thing for Roy Jones Jr. I have a special thing for him.
I agree. Back in the day when I was coming up, man, during the 90s, when I first really started to dig into boxing as I became a young man, Tito Trinidad and Roy Jones Jr., they were my two favorite fighters at the time. And Roy did some amazing things back then, man.
Oh my God! Still to this day,
a lot of young fighters don't know that. But I think we have a question here for you, real quickly, before I wrap this up. He says, "I believe he's for you because I think you know how I scored that fight, 92 AKU. But he wants to know how you scored Oscar De La Hoya versus Pernell Whitaker."
I had Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah.
I had Whitaker winning. I mean, I think it was a close fight, but I definitely think Whitaker
I had it 7-5 because Oscar did do some. They award a fighter for activity as well. So even though Oscar wasn't landing a whole bunch of stuff, and Pernell was blocking a lot of stuff, he did get some straight rights in though. I thought that Whitaker with the knockdown and with the command he had and the control of the fight, I thought he won the fight just based off of that. I thought he won.
Yeah, I thought so too. Close fight, and disappointed that I
definitely
get a
thought
rematch.
He beat Chavez, and I thought he beat Jose Ramirez the first time. I definitely believe that.
Man, Whitaker was the guy, man, back then.
He was unbeatable. Nobody could beat Pernell Whitaker. Nobody. They talk about Felix Trinidad. I'm saying he fought a different fight with Felix Trinidad. He fought the same fight he fought the Spanish guy. He just came straight at Felix and said, "I'm going to knock him out." I'm like, dude, you don't knock out people.
He was, and he was trying to, man, because there was there was a point in that fight. I think it was round 9, I want to say, where he started to clip Trinidad with some shots, and
body shots, nasty body shots.
I got a little worried, man, because we know Trinidad's a little chinny. I'm not gonna lie, even though he was my favorite fighter, he's been dropped several times in fights, but he's always got back up to win those fights, except for the fight with Hopkins when Hopkins stopped him. But to
be fair, I thought Oscar beat Felix Trinidad, and to this day, I don't understand why he lost that fight. He basically dominated. He dominated that fight. He took the last 2 rounds off, and he said, "You know what? I'm just gonna chill." Because what was the guy's name? Bill Clancy. He said, "All right, just box him."
Yeah.
So he was like, "All right, cool." And he thought he had it in the bag. You saw him turn to his corner like, "Yeah." Then he finds out Felix Trinidad won the fight. He was like, "What?"
He did. But
what did Felix do? That entire fight, he just kept on following Oscar around the ring. And Oscar just keep on coming inside, throw a combination, come back out. Just boxing him all night. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what your opinion of it is.
I mean, I think Trinidad won it, but we don't have enough time for that one. We could talk about that though on another show. I know my boy D Style thinks Oscar won that fight pretty comfortably too. So we'll set something up, man, for sure. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to defend Tito.
I like Tito. I like Tito. Right? It's a bad boy.
Yeah,
went all the way up to middleweight and beat what's the guy's name? The middleweight champion. You know what I'm talking about, who beat Roberto Duran, right? The reason I just can't remember his name. But yeah, Tito did his thing. I'm not mad at him, but I'm just saying, that's just my thoughts.
Right.
I could break it down for you if you want me to, not a problem.
We'll set something up and we'll get a few other people. I know Chicano Prophet here in the chat. He believes Oscar won too, so maybe we could get him on and a few other guys and have a discussion on that, because that's one of the biggest and most controversial fights in the last 25 years, man. So,
Yeah.
but I gotta go. I gotta wrap this thing up. I gotta get back to this
Yeah,
homeschooling
man.
thing, man. But you know what? Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully we can do this again, man. And everybody, I know that there's some guys here in the chat that have been acting weird, but it is what it is, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Thanks to you
No
guys
problem.
tuning in. And we'll see you again, man. This is G Funk. I'm out.